So you're flipping through this proposal from Zen Wellness Partnership.
And let's be real, who has time to decode all this jargon?
Right.
You need to know, bottom line, is bringing Zen's wellness programs to your hotel actually worth it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're diving into today.
Exactly. We're going to kind of break it all down, look at the proposal, the potential benefits, all those little details that could slip through the cracks.
Yes. So right away, Zen Wellness Partnership, they want to transform your property into like the wellness destination.
Right.
But what does that actually even look like? They're like a little vague on specifics.
Yeah, they are.
Talking about spa treatments, fitness gurus. I mean, how does it all work?
Is it an app? Do they like manage everything?
Good question.
We need to unpack that.
Yeah. And while they're like really pushing this no retainer thing, only pay for what your guests use, that's one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
The bigger question is,
can this whole paper service thing actually fly at a luxury property?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Maybe.
Because it's tempting, right?
It is.
No huge upfront costs, just like wellness on tap whenever your guests want it. And speaking of which, they do highlight
this roster of certified wellness professionals they've got.
Okay.
Over 60 of them, apparently. They even name drop.
A couple, Thanlan, Yeni.
Sure. It's good marketing, right?
It is good marketing.
But before we get too dazzled by the names,
Yeah.
gotta ask, what does certified even mean in this context?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Are we talking legit wellness organizations?
Right.
Do they actually vet these people?
Yeah, because it's one thing to have a long list, right?
Totally.
But are these the right people to be, like, handling your guests?
Especially
luxury clientele.
big time. And that's where these case studies they mentioned come in, right?
Okay.
Fusion Suites, Saigon, Sedona Suites.
Yeah.
They're showcasing these as success stories, but
Okay.
we got to go deeper than just names.
So unpack that for us. What kind of impact did Zen actually have at these places?
Exactly.
Did they bring in new guests?
Did guest satisfaction go up?
Yeah. What about the financials?
That's the million-dollar question. We're going to dig into these case studies and see if Zen's track record actually adds up.
All right. And while we're talking numbers, let's not gloss over that 90-10 revenue split.
Yes.
They're quick to mention it's after taxes, so you're getting 10% of the net profit.
Okay.
But is that, like, actually a good deal?
Well, that's where a deep dive into their financials is key, right?
Right.
We need to see the projections, the cost structure. Does that 10% actually translate to a decent profit margin for you?
Good point. So yeah, no retainer, bunch of wellness professionals, all sounds great on the surface.
Sure.
But we need to really scrutinize the details.
Absolutely.
See if their promises hold up, and ultimately...
Does their vision actually make sense for your business goals?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And speaking of elevating that guest experience, Zen's really pushing their tech, right?
Yeah.
AI, mobile apps, all that.
Right.
They claim this tech can't, like, personalize experiences.
Okay.
But how?
That's the million-dollar question. They're saying AI-powered personalization.
Yeah.
But details are a bit thin. What data are they collecting? How are they actually using it to tailor services?
Yeah.
Is this genuine understanding of the guest?
Right.
Or is it just a fancy way of saying they've got a booking app?
Right. It all sounds very future of wellness, but we need to separate the hype from reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where, those case studies we mentioned could be telling, right? Did Fusion Suites, Sedona Suites, did they suddenly see a spike?
In bookings for, like, super specific treatments?
After they brought Zen on?
Right.
That might tell us they know what they're doing with AI.
Okay.
If not,
well,
maybe it's just marketing fluff.
Right. So we need to see the receipts, basically.
Exactly.
But even if their tech is amazing,
there's still the whole integration piece.
Oh, yeah.
They say it'll be seamless, integrate with your current systems.
But realistically, how smooth is that going to be?
Huge point. Clunky integration, systems that don't talk to each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nightmare for you, for your staff.
Yeah.
Imagine explaining to, like, a high roller guest
Oh, God.
that their massage got messed up because Zen's system and the front desk aren't on speaking terms.
Talk about a bad look. Logistical nightmare, like you said.
Exactly.
Speaking of logistics, they do mention a dedicated team for onboarding.
Right.
What does that even mean? Quick training session.
Or, like, are they holding your hand through the whole thing?
Yeah, that's something to clarify for sure. Detailed onboarding.
Yeah.
Clear communication, ongoing support, all that good stuff.
Right. Right. And actually, while we're on communication, what about data security?
Oh, absolutely. They're collecting guest data, preferences,
Yeah.
maybe even payment info, right? That's a hacker's dream if it's not locked down tight.
No kidding.
So robust cybersecurity, compliance with all the data privacy laws. These are non-negotiables. You need those answers.
Absolutely. And since we're talking peace of mind, those wellness pros, right?
Right.
They really hammer on about being certified.
They do.
But certification, that can mean anything.
Exactly. Weekend course, years of actual training. Big difference.
Huge. So, got to ask about the vetting process.
Yep.
What are their standards? Background check.
Sure.
And this is key. Experience in a luxury setting.
Big time.
Because you can't just have a one-size-fits-all approach to wellness.
No way.
Not for this clientele. We're talking discerning guests. They expect the best of the best.
And that leads us to another thing. Competition.
Oh, right.
The wellness game is booming. How does Zen stack up?
Okay, so, yeah, we can't just look at Zen in a vacuum.
Nope.
Got to know the other players, their strengths, weaknesses, all that.
Exactly. Are there similar services out there? Different pricing?
Yeah.
Maybe someone with a better reputation for, like, tech integration?
Mm-hmm.
Or someone hyper-focused on that really personalized experience?
Right, because knowing where Zen fits in the whole landscape.
That's key to making a good decision here.
Absolutely. Finding the perfect fit for you, your guests, your brand.
Exactly. And while pricing, services, that's all important.
For sure.
What about the stuff you can't quantify?
Yes.
Zen's reputation within the industry, you know, their integrity, commitment to quality, customer service, that kind of thing.
Because at the end of the day, a partnership is more than just checking boxes.
It is.
It's got to be a company that shares your values.
Exactly.
Someone you can actually build a relationship with.
So online reviews, industry publications, word of mouth, all that good stuff.
All of it. Talk to other hotels who've worked with them.
Yeah.
Get a feel for their culture, you know.
It's about doing your homework. This partnership, it could be huge.
It could.
But you got to go in with your eyes open.
Absolutely.
See the opportunities, but the potential downsides too.
That's what we're all about here, right? Giving you the info, the insights you need to make the right call.
Okay, so let's loop back to Zen's marketing for a sec.
Okay.
They're promising to turn your property into this like sought-after wellness destination. But what does that even mean, practically speaking?
Right. It sounds great in a brochure, but how do they actually make it happen?
Yeah. Do they have a track record of bringing in those wellness-focused guests?
And more importantly, does their idea of wellness even match up with your target market?
Oh, that's huge.
Let's say your guests are, you know, a little older, more on the luxury side.
Right.
Are they really going to be into the latest fitness fads?
Probably not.
Or are they looking for something more, you know, relaxing, restorative?
Yes. You got to know your audience.
You got to make sure Zen's approach is actually going to resonate with them.
Right. Otherwise, you've got empty treatment rooms. Missed opportunity.
And speaking of opportunities,
yeah,
that revenue potential, that 90-10 split.
Right. Back to the financials.
We got to break it down.
Sure.
How are they coming up with these projections?
Okay.
What are their assumptions about occupancy rates?
How much guests will spend on these wellness things?
Is there even enough demand for it all?
Right. Because a percentage on paper doesn't pay the bills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is where those detailed financial reports they mentioned are key.
Okay.
You want to see the numbers, understand their thinking, run your own calculations.
Take sure it makes sense.
Make sure this partnership is actually going to be profitable for you long term.
Long term, exactly. And speaking of which, what about flexibility, scalability?
Oh, that's a good point.
Things change in the hospitality world.
Constantly.
You need a partner who can roll with the punches.
So, what if your needs change? You want to add a new program.
Right.
Expand what you offer. Can Zen handle that?
Yeah. Can they scale up?
Do they have the resources, the infrastructure?
Or, you know, what if there's another, like, global event that impacts travel? Can Zen adapt their services, pricing, the whole deal?
Important questions. You don't want to be stuck.
No.
In a partnership that can't bend, can't evolve as your business does.
Exactly. It's finding someone who's not just a vendor, but a collaborator.
Yes.
Someone who's invested in your success, who's proactive, you know.
Absolutely. And that collaborative spirit, that needs to extend to communication too.
Okay, communication is key. What's their style? How do they keep partners in the loop?
Well, they talk about transparency,
Right.
open communication, all that,
Right.
which is great, but what does that look like day to day?
Right, exactly.
Do they send regular reports? Is there a point person you can contact?
Right.
Someone who's actually available to answer questions, deal with issues?
Because the last thing you need is radio silence.
No, absolutely not.
Not knowing how things are going, or if they're even fixing problems.
Communication builds trust,
Yes.
manages expectations, make sure everyone's on the same page.
It's a two-way street. Information's got to flow. Both sides feel heard, respected.
100%. And that takes us to another crucial thing.
Okay.
Feedback, and actually using it to improve.
So not just getting it right out of the gate, but constantly learning,
Exactly.
getting better as you go.
How does Zen get feedback from their partners?
Yeah, good question.
Is there a system?
Yeah.
And what do they do with that feedback?
Right. Like, are they actually using it to get better?
Are they making changes to the services, the tech, the whole approach?
Because if you're not growing, you're dying. Right.
Especially in this industry.
Right.
So you want a company that's open to feedback, that isn't afraid to admit where they can improve,
Yeah.
that sees it as a chance to get better, not a criticism.
So, okay, we've gone through Zen's whole deal, their model, the questions to ask, all that.
Right.
But let's bring it back to you. Your hotel. What kind of wellness experience are you even going for here?
That's the heart of it,
Yeah.
right? Zen gives you the tools, sure.
Yeah.
But you decide how they fit your brand, your guests, your vision.
They keep saying sought-after wellness destination,
Right.
but that's going to look different for everyone, right?
Totally.
Are your guests after the, like, trendy fitness stuff? Or is it more of a spa vibe, total relaxation?
Right.
Or maybe it's like wellness woven into the whole guest experience.
And that's where this whole personalized experience thing
Yeah.
really gets put to the test,
Okay.
Can they actually tailor it to your guests?
Right, right.
Or is it just like a generic package with a fancy name?
So we got to push back a bit, right? Ask for specifics.
Absolutely.
See if what they're calling personalization actually lines up.
100%.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, ask about innovation.
Good point.
Are they just doing the same old wellness stuff?
Yeah.
Or are they trying new things, new tech, new treatments,
Because this industry moves fast,
So
you need someone who's keeping up.
Absolutely. So it's about finding that sweet spot, right?
Okay.
Where their expertise actually elevates your vision.
Right.
That synergy, that's what makes you stand out.
Exactly. That's what gets people talking, coming back for more.
100%.
So as you're looking at this proposal from Zen, ask the tough questions, dig deep, be critical.
Yeah.
Do their promises actually make sense for you?
It's got to be a win-win.
Right. Well,
Zen's got to be right for you, and you got to be right for them.
absolutely. And here's a final thought.
Oh, yeah.
What if instead of just partnering with Zen,
Yeah.
you worked with them, like really collaborated
Okay.
to create a totally unique wellness experience?
Interesting.
Something specific to your hotel,
I like it.
combining their knowledge with what your brand is all about.
Because that's how you create something truly special, right?
Exactly. That's how you become unforgettable.
Thinking outside the box.
Yes. A partnership that's more than just a deal.
Mhm.
It's a chance to innovate, to blow people away.
Love it.
So hopefully this deep dive has given you plenty to think about.
Lots to consider.
Keep asking those questions, and until next time.
Don't settle for anything less than exceptional.